Hello my friends and welcome to your practice. I'm Dionne. It's an honour to be here with you today. Thank you for being here. I thought I would share a little pep-me-up practice today. Something that I turn to in times where maybe I'm feeling a little bit low in energy, maybe a bit sad, maybe just like I need something to help me feel a bit more uplifted. So this is supported fish pose, and in this practice I like to use a block. You can substitute that with a rolled up blanket, like rolled up like a sausage. So that would do very nicely and probably feel quite luxe as well. You might also have a book or something else imaginative in your home that you can substitute if you don't have a block. I also like to use a blanket as well because you know me and my props. I like things to feel as luxe as possible. So maybe have something like that to hand. And before we get into it, I'm just going to show you the way that I like to use the props. So with a yoga block, there's different heights that you can have it on, and I like to use this long kind of broad part right here. So fish pose is really great for opening up the lungs and lifting the heart, literally, quite literally, that's what we're doing. So this is a great one if you're also doing a lot of looking at your phone and typing, so I really hope this helps you out. So because this is a great one for lifting the chest, not only at the front but also getting into the sides of the chest, opening up through the ribs, as well as contracting through the back part of the body, we're going to have the block, or whatever your substitute is, sort of behind the shoulder blades. So we're going to have them quite high up, so from behind it's roughly this height, but as with using any kind of prop, I really encourage you to play with it to find the sweet spot, because we want it to feel comfortable, no tension. This is a supported back bend, so we want it to feel easeful and like we can drop into it. So I'm going to set my block up on the floor here. The blanket is for behind the head, so this elevates the head a little bit so that you can find a good height for you to be in. So come on down and join me if you feel ready to, and just start to lower yourself down onto your forearms. So you can see we're starting to go into that fish shape pose. Some of you might already know that from your yoga practice, don't worry if you don't. So the block is sort of, if you ever wear a bra or have ever worn a bra, it's probably like slightly higher than bra strap height. But what do I know? Like, I don't really know much about good fitting bras. And actually I'm going to make my pillow kind of into a 4 and then lower the head down. So as you can probably tell, quite immediately you'll get a sense of whether it's a good height for you. I want to feel a sense that my shoulders can drop back, my neck is free, but my head is very much supported, so back of the head is resting on the floor. In this one, I like to keep my knees bent, feet on the floor, but it's up to you depending on how your low back feels. So you can probably tell already, we are really elevating the chest, really elevating the heart. So the heart and the lungs are structurally connected, like physically interconnected, but also they work together to help us to process emotions. So if we are kind of moving through stuff where we might feel a bit stuck, or we're kind of moving through a lot of feelings and emotions, it could be nice to really support this area to elevate and literally lift our hearts. So we want to feel quite comfortable here because we're holding for a bit, a couple of minutes. So as I said earlier, with all props, you want to feel free to adjust and move the props if it's not comfortable. This is feeling pretty good for me, and my arms are in this kind of goalpost shape with my elbows bent. But again, you can play with this depending on what your needs are. You could have your arms lying out to your sides, for example. And something that I talk about all the time is the connection between your hands and your heart. So you could probably even get a sense of that right now, literally from your fingertips moving up through the arm, past the elbow, to the armpits, and feel that sense of space space through the rib cage. And right now what's going on with the back body is we want to feel that sense of contraction. So the shoulder blades like moving closer together. So the back body is supporting us in order to find the opening in the front of the chest. So we're not just collapsing in the back muscles are supporting through the strength of that back body, which is often perhaps not neglected, but maybe we don't often think about the back body and all that it does for us. We tend to be very front facing in life and going on with stuff, you know, but it can be a nice practice to even allow ourselves to learn or simply practice falling into the support or dropping into the support that's behind us. So we do that a lot in our practice when we're doing grounding explorations. So maybe in this particular shape, as we hold for the last few moments here, really explore the sense of back body support. We might even begin to integrate the breath here in this shape. So just noticing where the breath is right now in the body. And as I said, because in our lives we tend to be very much focus front, and this shape in particular might make us think of lifting the chest and everything being opening on that front part. So we might very well notice the breath being in this area as well, but perhaps we can start to explore and experiment with a sense of opening using the breath in the side body and the back body too. So sending the breath to those parts, those areas. And sometimes that's easier to do with an inhalation. So in particular, as you inhale, you might be more aware of this prop behind you as you expand out into every direction, front, sides, back body. And as you exhale, just really allowing for that dropping in, just sinking even deeper, even more into the prop. Just breathe at your own pace. Just using your awareness to connect with that support. Nice, 2 more cycles of breath here. Sometimes it can be nice to explore just evening out the length of the inhale and the exhale. Really lovely. In your own time, we're going to slowly come out of this. So I find the easiest way for my body is just to try to roll a bit to one side as I reach behind me, remove the block and slowly lower. Also, I like to remove the prop from behind my head as well, so that I can just come to lie on the floor. And just take a moment, just allowing the absorption of that hopefully state shifting shape to really soak in. And maybe as you just pause here for a moment, maybe you can really tap into that integration of all parts of us, front, back, sides, inside, outside. So just allowing us to be wherever we're at. There doesn't have to be any kind of shift of feeling or emotion, but if there is, hold space for that. And then slowly roll over onto one side. Again, just pausing before we return. So really what we're doing is allowing for the process of just being with ourselves, feeling, sensation, and taking our time with it as well, So there's no need to rush. If you do feel ready, just use your hand as support, press down into the support and help yourself up, find a comfortable seat. I like to sit on a block, which is quite convenient. So prop yourself up as you need to. And as you return to this upright position, again, just allowing a moment or two to settle. Sometimes we might start to notice the shift in the effect of that particular pose once we come upright again. So if it helps, maybe focus on a point on the ground in front of you. So you're just lowering your gaze, but using your focus to bring yourself back into the room. And then take a moment here, just pausing, really sensing yourself in space. Front body, back body, sides, maybe armpits. Nice, and then get a sense of where your head and shoulders are in space. And at this point I like to just explore it just with your imagination. But sometimes if you feel you could use a little extra helping hand, you could take one hand just behind your head and another just around the low back. And from the low back, sort of help yourself lift up. So you're kind of scooping yourself up. And then with the head to lean back. So as I said, quite often we're very front facing. Many of us have a posture where we're ready and raring to go, which is great if we need to get things done, but not all the time. We don't have to always be on and front facing and marching forward. Sometimes we can afford to lean back into that support that's behind us, and you can keep your hands there, or if you're feeling good to remove the hands, you can do that. Just pausing, noticing, hopefully feeling that sense of integration. And just to round that all up, to bring the palms together with the chest. So as I said, hands, heart, very much connected. If we think about giving out with love, supporting someone that we care about, it's like from the heart, literally. And sometimes we can be imbalanced in doing that, you know. So giving out, facing forward, putting out. Sometimes we can afford to receive and draw in. So take it to the back. So bringing all of that together in this mudra, pressing the hands together. And as you do that, allow the elbows to lift. Also just a simply nice stretch for the mid-back. Maybe getting into armpits. And as much as the emphasis again might be on the chest, think about the back body. See if you can send your breath to the back body, back of the lungs. So imagine your lungs are like upside down trees with the trunk going from the nose, mouth, down into the chest, and then these gorgeous blooms. So really send the breath down and all the way around, maybe evening out the breath. Just take one more cycle here. And then release the hands. If you need to shake it off, shake it off. I really hope that that felt good for you and that helped you to tap into that support. I've got my own back. I've got your back. High five and all of that. Use as often as you need, but take your time with it as well, as you know, it can be kind of quite an immediate shift that you feel. So I don't know, let me know how you go, let me know how it was for you, and yeah, how you're doing. I really appreciate you for being here. Thanks so much. And if you want to join me online for live streams, head to my site, dionne.space/online. I remembered. Thanks for being here and take care. Bye.